Here's why women only want men who don't value them. Female Psychology Stoicism, Old Stoic wisdom. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Eden Arbez. Welcome back to another episode of Stoicism Win. Today, we're diving into one of the most perplexing aspects of dating. Why is it that women often seem more drawn to men who don't prioritize them, while the guys who truly care and put in the effort are left on the sidelines? If you've ever found yourself perplexed by a situation where a woman overlooks a genuinely good man in favor of someone who barely shows interest, you're not alone. But let's set the record straight. This isn't about the tired bad boys versus nice guys debate. This is a much deeper psychological pattern. The idea that women are attracted to men who mistreat them is a misconception. It's not about mistreatment at all. It's about perceived value. Women, both biologically and psychologically, are attracted to men they see as high value. And here's an uncomfortable truth. When a man puts a woman on a pedestal too early, it doesn't signal strength. It signals desperation. He's telling her, "Your presence is more important than my mission, my growth, and my purpose." And the moment she senses this, before she has even had to earn it, the attraction begins to fade. Here's why. When something comes too easily, it's no longer cherished. Many men assume that treating a woman like royalty from the start will win her heart, but more often than not, it does the opposite. When a man invests too much, too quickly, by putting her above his own mission, he's not showing strength, he's showing neediness. And let's be clear, nothing is less attractive to a woman than a man who looks to her for validation to feel whole. Now, let's flip the script. Men who don't prioritize women over their own purpose, those who remain grounded in their goals and standards, trigger something deeper in women. They spark curiosity. She starts thinking, what does he have going on that makes him not chase me like other men do? What's more important than me? And before she knows it, she's the one vying for his attention, trying to prove herself. This isn't about being cold, rude, or playing games. It's about understanding your worth and carrying that energy into every interaction. A man who values himself first will naturally command respect and admiration. Women aren't drawn to men who are always available, too eager, or too easy. They're attracted to men who are selective, who have standards, and who hold on to their time and energy until it's earned. This is the core of real attraction. Today, we're going to explore 7 principles that will shift your mindset and change the way women view you. If you're ready to stop being overlooked and start commanding the respect and attention you deserve, stick with us. Let's dive in. Point 1. Women crave what they can't have. The truth is simple. Women crave what they can't have. It's an undeniable fact that people, particularly women, are drawn to what seems distant, elusive, or hard to obtain. When something becomes too easily accessible, its value diminishes. It's human nature, a psychological principle that influences not only how we view material goods, but also how we perceive relationships. Think about luxury brands. They don't just sell a product, they sell exclusivity, a feeling of scarcity. This concept is no different in the world of relationships. The moment something becomes too attainable, it stops being valuable. If you're a man who is always available, always ready to drop everything for a woman, always quick to respond, you lose the intrigue. She no longer has to work for your attention, and the excitement begins to fade. There is no challenge, no chase, and therefore no emotional investment. But here's the key shift. The man who isn't constantly available, who has a purpose, who doesn't seek validation and has his own mission in life, triggers a completely different response. She starts wondering, why isn't he chasing me? What makes him so different? Does he have other options? And at that very moment, she is emotionally hooked. She begins to analyze why this man, who seems so focused on his own path, isn't falling over himself to give her constant attention. She overthinks, she wonders, she questions, and that intrigue starts to grow into something deeper. Now consider the man who showers her with attention, texts her every morning, constantly gives her compliments, and always initiates plans. In the beginning, she might enjoy this, feeling valued and special. But as time goes on, she stops valuing it because it's predictable, easy to attain, and doesn't require her to work for it. There's no chase, no mystery, and ultimately, the excitement fades. Contrast that with a man who is kind, but not overly available. He responds to messages when it suits him. He keeps conversations short and focused, and his life doesn't revolve around her. This man is intriguing. He's a mystery, and that's what makes him so attractive. She starts to chase him. She starts to wonder about his intentions, his goals, and what makes him tick. She questions why he's not chasing her, and that curiosity pulls her in. That is the power of scarcity in attraction, the principle that effort equals value. When a woman has to work for your time and attention, when it isn't just handed to her on a silver platter, she sees you as the prize. You become the one she seeks, the one she values. This isn't about playing games. It's not about pretending to be distant or manipulating someone. It's about positioning yourself as a man with purpose. A stoic man, one grounded in the principles of self-control, doesn't need constant validation. He doesn't give away his time or energy without consideration. He doesn't live reactively to a woman's interest. Instead, he remains steady, focused on his own path. A man who follows the Stoic principles of wisdom, courage, and self-discipline understands the value of restraint. This man doesn't chase, but because he doesn't need to, women naturally gravitate toward him. Women are attracted to this sense of inner strength, the iron mind that comes with a stoic approach to life. When you stop chasing, you give her a reason to want to pursue you. You position yourself as the man with purpose, the man who doesn't revolve his life around anyone else's desires. Mastering this mindset is liberating. The more you understand the principle of scarcity, the more you realize how powerful it is in relationships. It's not about making yourself unavailable for the sake of playing games. It's about being a man who is secure in his own life, who has goals, ambitions, and a path that doesn't depend on anyone else. When you adopt the mindset of an Old Stoic, when you cultivate an iron mind and practice Stoic principles, you will become the man who naturally attracts women, not by being available on demand, but by being steady, consistent, and grounded in your own purpose. This is the power that women find irresistible. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you stopped chasing, she became more interested? Have you ever realized that when you prioritized your own mission, she started pursuing you instead? It's time to embrace the idea that attraction thrives on challenge, on the effort it takes to win someone's attention. Scarcity makes you valuable. The moment you stop chasing validation, you start living according to your own principles, and that's when the magic happens. Don't chase approval. Be the man who has nothing to prove. Instead, build your life, focus on your mission, and watch as women are drawn to the power of your stoic presence. This is a simple truth, one rooted in age-old wisdom, and it's time you embrace it. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever experienced a woman becoming more interested the moment you stop chasing her? Let's talk about it. If you found this valuable, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights into Stoicism and relationships. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next topic. Why respect is never given freely, and why men who seek approval always lose it. Point 2. Respect is earned, not given. Respect is earned, not freely given. One of the most common missteps men make with women is assuming that respect is automatically granted just because they are nice, kind, and do everything right. The truth, however, is far more ruthless. Women do not respect men who give their value away without earning it first. You cannot demand respect. Respect must be earned, and that means establishing your worth. Think about it. A true leader never pleads for followers. A leader is simply someone others naturally follow because of the strength of their character, their decisiveness, and their integrity. This is the Stoic ideal in practice, practical Stoicism, where respect is not something you seek but something you naturally command by carrying yourself with the quiet confidence of a man who knows his worth. When a man, however, overinvests in a woman's approval or tries too hard to impress her, his value drops in her eyes. Women instinctively pick up on this, and when they sense that he is desperate or needs validation, they automatically lose respect for him. Now, picture a scenario where two men take a woman out on a date. The first guy is eager to impress. He agrees with everything she says, constantly reaffirms his feelings for her, and is visibly afraid of making a mistake. He seeks her approval at every turn. The second guy, on the other hand, is calm, self-assured, and doesn't go out of his way to please her. He challenges her when she's wrong, playfully disagrees with her, and doesn't tolerate entitlement. The first man's desperate need to please her only pushes him further away from her respect, while the second man stands his ground, showing that his respect is not something she can simply take for granted. It's something she has to earn. This dynamic highlights a core principle of Stoic rules in relationships: the ability to remain grounded in your own values without being swayed by external approval or disapproval. The second man's respect for himself is what makes him truly valuable in her eyes, not his actions aimed at impressing her. This is the distinction between men who are respected and those who are overlooked. Women respect men who have self-respect. When you place a woman above yourself, you position yourself as inferior, and no woman will ever respect a man she perceives as inferior to her. On the other hand, when you carry yourself with the confidence that comes from knowing your worth, a woman cannot help but respect you. This confidence is rooted in understanding that you are enough as you are, and that you will not compromise your principles or self-worth for the approval of others. The Stoic mindset teaches us that respect is not about doing things for others to gain their approval, but about holding firm to your values and knowing that your worth is intrinsic. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, especially from women, you begin to command respect, because you know that respect cannot be begged for, only earned. This Stoic principle should shape how you interact with women. If you place too much value on her opinion or approval, she will see you as weak, and this weakness will erode the attraction and respect she has for you. When you show a woman that you are willing to walk away, whether it's from a relationship, a date, or a disagreement, she is forced to recognize your value. When you stay true to yourself, no matter how much she might try to test you, you demonstrate that you are not desperate for her attention, affection, or approval. This is the key to attracting respect and maintaining a strong, healthy dynamic in any relationship. Practical Stoicism isn't just about how you handle life's challenges. It's about how you interact with others, including women. And the rules are simple. Don't seek validation, don't overinvest, and don't compromise your value for anyone, least of all a woman. At the end of the day, the respect you get from others, especially from women, is directly related to how much you respect yourself. Stop chasing her approval. Stop bending over backward to make her like you. Respect is a two-way street, and if you give her the space to earn it, she will start to value you more. A man who commands respect is a man who values himself first and foremost. He does not chase, he attracts. So, stop undervaluing your worth in the pursuit of someone else's affection. Start living by the Stoic rules of self-respect and watch as your relationships begin to change for the better. Never forget, your value is not defined by how much you give to others, but by how much you believe in yourself. If you want to command respect, stop chasing it and start earning it. A man who values himself is the one who attracts respect naturally. Remember, respect isn't given. It's earned through unwavering self-worth. If you agree with this, drop a comment right now. I am the man who knows my worth. Like this video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remind yourself daily, respect starts with self-respect. Point 3. Desperation kills attraction. Desperation is the silent killer of attraction. It is the deadly force that will swiftly dissolve any semblance of interest a woman has in you, no matter how hard you try to keep it alive. When a woman senses that you're desperately seeking her approval, the that you're waiting for her to validate your worth, she pulls back. And it's not because she's cruel. It's because attraction, at its core, is not a reward for good behavior, but a perception. It's about how she perceives you, your value, your confidence, and your ability to stand firm without relying on external validation. She respects a man who doesn't need her validation to feel complete. But the moment she sees that your happiness is dependent on her response, whether she texts you back or not, when she sees you scrambling to please her, or when you place her needs above your own, her respect and attraction for you begin to erode. And let's face it, nobody wants to be around someone who's desperate. Women aren't exceptions. Imagine a stranger, always complimenting you, agreeing with everything you say, showing up at your beck and call, never missing a chance to please you. Initially, it might feel good, even flattering, but over time it becomes tiresome, and eventually it becomes a turn-off. It raises the question, why is this person trying so hard? What does he want from me? That's precisely how women feel when a man tries too hard to win them over. It makes them question his value, his strength, and his self-respect. The men who attract women the most are not the ones who seek constant approval. They are the men who are secure in themselves. They know their worth, and their confidence doesn't hinge on the approval of any woman. If she doesn't reply to their text messages, or if she doesn't show interest right away, they don't collapse. They don't chase after her. They remain calm, they stay focused, and they continue with their lives. In the ancient wisdom of Epictetus, we learn that true strength comes from self-control and the ability to detach from the external world. This Stoic wisdom aligns perfectly with the modern reality of relationships. A man who doesn't need to seek validation, a man who does not chase, embodies the essence of stoicismwin. These men understand that one woman's attention does not define their worth. They operate from an abundance mindset, knowing that there are countless opportunities and that their value cannot be dictated by anyone's opinion. On the flip side, when a man becomes desperate, sending double texts, checking his phone every few seconds, trying to fix things with an eager, frantic energy, he's signaling to her, whether consciously or not, please choose me, please tell me I'm good enough. And the moment she senses that desperation, her attraction fades. It's natural. You've heard it before. Desperation kills attraction. She doesn't want to be pursued like a prize. She wants her attention to be earned. She wants a man whose value is already established and doesn't shift based on her response. A high-value man never chases. He chooses. If a woman doesn't appreciate what he brings to the table, he's perfectly fine walking away, secure in the knowledge that his worth doesn't depend on her. The cruel irony is this. The harder you try to make her like you, the less she will. But the moment you stop needing her validation, when you stop chasing her, when you stop anxiously seeking her approval, suddenly she starts to crave yours. Women are drawn to men who have the power to walk away. They are drawn to men who know their value and stand firm in it. You need to cultivate this power within yourself. Stop needing her approval. Become a man who stands apart from the herd, a man whose presence commands respect without needing to seek it. A wise man once said, "He who is brave is free." You must embrace this truth. To attract women, you must first be free from the need for their validation. The sooner you internalize this, the sooner you begin to experience the power of Stoic wisdom in your own life. To be a man who walks through life unbothered by the opinions of others, especially women, is to embody a man who holds the key to his own desires. And this isn't just some philosophical musing. It's the practical truth you can apply today. The moment you stop acting out of desperation, the moment you stand tall in your own value, the moment you embrace the path of wisdom, you will see the shift in how women respond to you. As Epictetus would remind us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it. Your reaction, the way you hold yourself, the way you carry your worth, is what attracts women, not your desperate attempts to get them to like you. So, my friend, the next time you feel the urge to chase or double text, remember this. The harder you chase, the further she runs. Instead, choose to stand firm in your own value. Let go of the need for validation. and you will see how women begin to desire your attention, not because you've earned it through desperation, but because they cannot resist a man who knows his worth and doesn't need their approval. This is the power of Stoicism in action, and this is how you can master the game of attraction. Stop chasing approval, choose yourself, and the world will follow. Comment below. Have you ever noticed how a woman became more interested the moment you stopped chasing her? Let's discuss. Hit like if you found this valuable. Subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights on Stoicism and relationships. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson. Why women are drawn to men other women want? Point 4. The power of indifference. There's one undeniable truth about attraction. People value what they might lose. When something is too easy, too predictable, too safe, it stops feeling exciting. This principle is the bedrock of the power of indifference. In relationships, the man who remains emotionally indifferent, who doesn't need her validation, who isn't easily swayed by games or emotions, always holds the upper hand. Women, by nature, are deeply emotional beings. They are drawn to uncertainty, mystery, and the thrill of the unknown. If a woman knows exactly where she stands with a man, if his attention is guaranteed, her desire for him inevitably fades. Not because she chooses to lose interest, but because this is simply how human nature operates. We all yearn for what seems just out of reach. Think of the guy who's always too eager, too available, always checking in and seeking approval. He's the one who gets ignored. Contrast this with the man who is busy with his own mission, who doesn't make her the center of his world. This is the man who commands her attention. She overanalyzes his actions, questions his feelings, and begins to chase his attention, all because of one key factor: indifference. It creates doubt in her mind, and doubt, more than anything, fuels attraction. She wonders, does he really like me? Why isn't he chasing me like the other guys? What makes him different? And once those questions begin to swirl in her mind, she's already emotionally invested. But here's where most men make their fatal mistake. When they sense a woman pulling away, they panic. They start texting more, trying harder, overcompensating in an attempt to reassure her of their interest. They do everything they can to prove themselves. And in doing so, they destroy the very attraction they've worked to build. When a man does this, he signals to her that he is not a high-value individual, that he can't stand on his own 2 feet without her validation. In that moment, the chase ends. The mystery vanishes. And so does her attraction. Men who truly hold the strongest frame, the men who understand the core principles of Stoicism, never fall into this trap. They do not let a woman's actions dictate their emotions. If she texts less, they don't panic or overcompensate. If she plays games, they remain unmoved. They understand that a high-value man does not chase approval, and because they don't need to chase, they naturally attract. The power of indifference is not about playing games or manipulating women. It's about living a life so full, so driven by purpose, that whether a woman stays or leaves no longer matters. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. To be a man who is self-sufficient, whose identity is not tethered to the approval or validation of others. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A man who embodies the Stoic principles, who has a life of his own, who doesn't need external validation, becomes a man who is truly powerful. When a man carries himself with this mindset, women don't just want his attention, they fight for it. They are drawn to him not because he chases them, but because he doesn't need them, and that is magnetic. In your own life, adopt this principle, cultivate your own purpose, live with an iron mind, and never allow external circumstances or the actions of others to dictate your worth. Women will notice this strength, this calm indifference. They will sense that you are a man who is not desperate for validation, and they will naturally be drawn to you. The key is to stop chasing, to stop seeking approval. When you do, you will attract more than you could ever imagine. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Point 5. Women are naturally drawn to men that other women want. Attraction isn't just about who you are, it's about how you're perceived. When a woman notices that other women are drawn to you, it sends a clear signal that you possess something of value. She will begin to ask herself, what makes him special? Why are other women interested in him? The moment she starts to wonder, the foundation of attraction begins to take shape. This psychological phenomenon, known as social proof, is one of the most powerful forces driving human attraction. Women, like men, don't want to make the wrong choice. They seek validation, not only from their own feelings, but also from the opinions of others. If you're already receiving attention from other women, it tells her that you have something worth competing for, a quality that's undeniable. But if no one is interested in you, she'll instinctively start to question why that is, and often she'll draw the conclusion that you lack value. This is why men who struggle the most with women are often those who are completely overlooked by them. Women don't simply desire a man, they want a man who is already wanted by others. Have you ever noticed how the moment a man enters into a committed relationship, other women suddenly start paying more attention to him? This isn't mere coincidence. His value has been validated in the eyes of others, and women see him through a different lens. This shift in perception is exactly why high-status men, celebrities, athletes, or even just the popular guy in a social circle rarely need to chase women. The perception of their desirability is already working in their favor. Imagine stepping into a room where two men are present. One is standing alone, while the other is surrounded by a group of women, laughing, confident, and enjoying himself. Which man seems more attractive? Women are instinctively drawn to the man who already has attention from others. This is no different from the way people are naturally more attracted to a restaurant that has a long line outside, rather than one that is completely empty. The assumption is simple. If others want it, it must be valuable. This is where the power of having options comes into play. It's not just about boosting your confidence, though that's important. It's about changing the way women perceive you. When you have options, you become more than just an available man. You become a man in demand, and this drastically alters the dynamic of your interactions with women. A man who is wanted by others naturally carries himself differently. He's not desperate for attention. He's not bending over backwards to gain female approval. Instead, he exudes an effortless confidence that makes him incredibly attractive. This is the power of social proof. It isn't something you can fake. It's a reflection of your actual worth, and it happens organically as a result of the value you create for yourself and the world around you. The key takeaway here is simple. When you focus on cultivating your own value and living according to the principles of practical stoicism, you will naturally become a man who is in demand. You will attract the attention of women, not by trying to impress them, but by simply being someone who values himself and his life. The more you live by stoic rules, such as focusing on your personal development, embracing challenges, and maintaining inner peace, the more others, particularly women, will take notice of you. This is not a gimmick or a shortcut. This is a principle grounded in ancient wisdom that has proven effective across time. Remember, social proof is a powerful tool, but it is not something that can be manufactured through tricks or manipulation. It's something that emerges naturally when you live your life with purpose and clarity, when you adhere to the Stoic ideals of self-reliance, confidence, and non-attachment. It's not about playing games, it's about playing the long game. Women will not only find you attractive, they will start competing for your attention. This doesn't mean you should become complacent or overly confident, but it does mean you should stop chasing approval. You are a man of value, and that is what will attract the women who align with that value. Have you ever noticed how much more attention you receive when you're in a relationship? This is a direct consequence of social proof. Women want what other women want. They are drawn to what is proven to be desirable. So instead of chasing validation from others, focus on creating a life that is rich with purpose and value. Focus on developing yourself and living with the principles of Stoicism, rejecting distractions, focusing on inner peace, and leading with strength. This will naturally attract the right kind of attention. Remember, attention loses its value when it's freely given without effort. You must be the man who is not easily accessible. The moment you stop trying so hard is when the women who truly deserve your attention will start noticing you. And they won't just want you. They'll start vying for your attention, competing to earn a place in your life. So, embrace these principles. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, grounded in Stoic wisdom, and watch how the world, especially women, begins to see you differently. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below. Have you ever noticed women paying more attention to you when you're in a relationship? Let's discuss it. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the Stoic Spirit, and turn on notifications for more insights on Stoicism and relationships. The Stoic approach to life doesn't just improve your relationships, it improves every aspect of your life. Live with strength, focus, and purpose, and let social proof work in your favor. Point 6. Attention loses value when it's free. A man's attention is like currency. The more freely he gives it, the less value it holds. Yet, far too many men make the fatal mistake of handing it out like cheap, disposable goods. They shower women with compliments, double text like every social media post, and wait around, hoping for a response. What they fail to realize is this: women don't value attention that's given freely. Women are not cruel, but they are instinctively wired to place value on things they have to work for. When attention is given with no effort, it becomes like air. Taken for granted, unnoticed, it loses its worth. Men often believe that by giving more, they will receive more in return, but that's not how women operate. Women crave excitement, mystery, and the thrill of winning the attention of a high-value man. When you give her attention without requiring anything in return, you don't appear confident, you appear desperate. And let me tell you this: desperation is the fastest way to kill attraction. There is power in withholding. A high-value man doesn't scatter his attention like breadcrumbs. He recognizes its worth. It's a limited resource, something precious, something rare. Imagine two stones, one a precious diamond, the other a common rock. Which one would you fight for? Which one would you treasure? Women chase what's rare, what's hard to earn. They don't chase what's handed to them on a silver platter. And neither should you. A man who understands the paths of wisdom doesn't fall into the trap of waiting around, checking his phone, hoping for a reply. While you're sitting there, anxiously staring at your screen, the woman you're pursuing barely gives you a second thought, because she doesn't need to. She hasn't had to earn it. The moment she realizes she doesn't have to work for your attention, respect fades. And where respect fades, attraction dies. A high-value man is selective with his attention. He doesn't waste his time on women who don't meet his standards. He asks himself, has she earned it? Is she reciprocating? Does she respect me? Or am I just feeding her ego? A man who knows his worth doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. He doesn't beg for validation. His attention is a privilege, not a guarantee. He doesn't chase women who play games or keep him as an option. His focus is on himself, his purpose, his mission. And because of this, women naturally want to be a part of his world. The man who values himself, who places himself first, commands respect, commands attraction. He becomes the man that others chase, not the one who chases. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom: to place value on oneself, to focus on one's mission, and to understand that attention, like anything valuable, is earned, not given away freely. In modern life, we often forget the power of scarcity. We think that giving more, offering more, will make us more attractive. But it doesn't. It repels. The woman who knows she can get your attention at any time doesn't appreciate it. The man who withholds, who makes his attention feel like a prize, is the one she'll chase. She wants to feel like she's earned it, not like it's a given. And here's the key: the less you care, the more they chase. A high-value man doesn't put himself in a position where he is at the mercy of another person's validation. He understands the power of self-respect and self-sufficiency. Take a step back. Evaluate. Are you the man who freely gives his attention, hoping for something in return? Or are you the man who makes others earn your time, your attention, your respect? The more you give away without being selective, the more your value diminishes. The more you hold back, the more your worth increases. This, my friend, is the power of Stoicism. It's understanding your worth, and it's having the strength to demand that others recognize it. Don't be afraid to make women work for your attention. Don't be afraid to let them chase you. After all, as the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And your attention? It is yours to control. Don't give it away freely. Point 7. Men who prioritize themselves always win. Most men make the same fatal mistake. They chase women instead of chasing excellence. They adjust their schedules, sacrifice their goals, and make women the center of their world. And then they wonder why those same women lose interest. Here's the truth. Women are not attracted to men who make them their only priority. They are drawn to men who have a purpose bigger than them. A man who puts himself first commands respect and desire automatically. He doesn't beg for attention. He doesn't wait by the phone. He doesn't cancel plans just to be available. And ironically, that's exactly why women chase him. Women don't want a man who revolves around them. They want a man who's on a mission, a man whose time is valuable. The moment a woman realizes that a man is willing to drop everything for her, she starts seeing him differently. Not as a leader, not as a strong, independent man, but as someone who's too easy to control. And no woman is attracted to a man who lacks direction. Men who win in life are the ones who focus on their own growth. They put their careers, their health, their mindset above seeking female validation. And ironically, that's what makes women crave them even more. Because when a man is truly busy, when he's fully engaged in his mission, women start competing for his attention. Most men think, if I show her enough love, enough effort, enough availability, she'll appreciate me more. But that's not how attraction works. Women don't respect men who need them. They respect men who choose them. And a man can only choose a woman from a position of strength if he's already fulfilled on his own. Look around. The men women admire most, they're not sitting around waiting for texts. They're not cancelling plans just to be available. They're too focused on their own growth. And that's the kind of energy that pulls women in. A man who prioritizes himself never needs to chase. He naturally attracts with his energy, his drive, his purpose. These are the things that make women crave his presence. And the best part? He doesn't do it for women. He does it for himself. Women are just a byproduct of his success. Comment below. Have you ever noticed that the more you focus on yourself, the more women chase you? Let's discuss. Hit like if this resonated with you. Subscribe to the Stoic Spirit for more insights on Stoicism and relationships. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson. The final key to mastering attraction. The final key to mastering attraction. Stop chasing. Stop overgiving. Start choosing. You only have one life. Make it count. Women don't respect men who need them. They respect men who choose them from a place of power. If your world revolves around her, you're essentially saying, I have nothing better to do. And the moment she realizes that, she's gone. You think love is about giving more, being loyal, always available? Wrong. Women don't value what's handed to them. They value what they have to work for. When she knows she has you completely, the thrill fades. That's why she's drawn to the man who stands firm, the man who has a bigger purpose than her. If you keep chasing, begging, and proving yourself, you'll lose yourself in the process. And once you lose yourself, you've already lost her. Flip the script. Build your life. Build your success. Build yourself. Not for her, for you. Women are a byproduct of your success, not the goal of it. The right woman will follow, the wrong ones will fade away. And you? You'll finally be free. Comment below. Have you ever noticed how women want you more the moment you stop chasing? Let's talk. Hit like if this resonated with you. Subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more no-nonsense lessons. Turn on notifications because next time we're going deeper. Stay strong, stay focused. Protect your power. See you next time.